So I use an app called 1 Second Every Day. It's actually 3 seconds, but each video clip that you're going to see is representative of an hour to a 5-hour workout. I missed some of my workouts, but most of them are in here, so you start to get an idea of just the amount of exercise and training that went layered on top of itself. I'm going to watch it and give you some commentary as I'm going through it to kind of add just a little bit of what's happening there. But those are the workouts. I tried to film them all. I missed some, but the workouts from January 1st through the Ironman. I think the last workout on here is September 6th. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. At least give you a sense of the work that went into making an Ironman happen. And I could hear you guys cheering for me in the background of my mind through all those workouts. Well, there's the 175-pound me at the beginning of the journey. Did a lot of my training at LA Fitness, so you'll see that. Did a lot in the basement too, down in my furnace room. Was getting up early. It was disturbing. And cold. Man, was it cold. Those early runs, I'd come back, frost on the eyes. There it is. You can see it. Getting frosty. That's the day it's minus 26 outside, water freezing right in the air. This is the pool I did a lot of swimming in, a lot of laps back and forth in that pool. There you get it, back in the basement. My wife, great supporter in me the whole way. Backed me up the whole way. Yep. Didn't get much sleep because I was out back in the snow, deep snow. We had a lot of snow in March, February, March. Just kept coming. Running in the snow actually is a lot of fun. I would put some Yaks tracks on my shoes and get out and just run in the snow. And then your body went through the shock of going to Florida. So I'm swimming in Florida and running in Florida. Beautiful weather there, thankfully, so that was pretty cool. And then back to Minnesota, back in the basement. I put a board up in my basement, so every week it would say, this is what I'm going to do on the day, this is the time I'm going to exercise, this is where I'm going to do it, and then I just committed to that time and never backed off of it. These are the people I looked at a lot running at LA Fitness. I wanted you to see who those guys were. And I missed a bunch of them, so there's a lot of swimming and running that's not in this video because I didn't get all of them every day, but I got the feel for it. And kept biking in the basement, rode a lot of miles to nowhere, a lot of miles in the dark, a lot of miles in the snow. I have a friend who's the CEO of War Tribe, and he sent me some of their logos, and I made those up, that heart of a lion, part beast, part machine. I'd look at that while I was biking in the basement going, I can do this. I can build this heart of a lion, this War Tribe idea. There's some slippery running. My son went with me that day. You can see what happened to him. Just goes on, working away. That guy came and maintained the pool every day I was in there. This is my twin brother, Jonathan. I'm going to put a little bit of piano in there, just kind of break it up for us. This is me running in Texas, and then we went on a cruise, so I learned how to run on the cruise ship. And you can see me running on the cruise ship, swimming in the Caribbean, back running on the cruise ship, riding the bike on the cruise ship. It's pretty fun to do it that way. It's pretty great. Riding your bike, looking out the front of a cruise ship. Made coming back to Minnesota a little more challenging because then we're back in Minnesota, back to snow, back to LA Fitness, back to the pool. Working hard. You can see I'm not exactly enjoying riding my bike in the basement all that time. Finally, no snow. Back to Washington and Washington State. Ran at the LA Fitness there, swam there, ran outside there. Some beautiful running there. They're out of Tacoma. That's a picture of the cookies I couldn't eat. So remember, I'm not eating any sugar. So anytime you see sugar in these videos, it's me saying, I can't have that. I can't have that sugar. Got my kids up running with me at times. Finally outside on the bike. I thought that was a long bike ride, 2 hours. Turned out that was a short one. Swimming away. There's my support team. There she is. There's me not eating cookies. That's right, me not drinking coffee punch. Just working. Working. You can quit if you want and no one will care, but you'll know for the rest of your life. Good, great Jim Collins quote. I put it on my whiteboard just to remind myself. Don't back off a single workout. Don't cheat a single workout. Just keep running. This lake, I took a video of this one a lot.
Happy birthday, Adeline.
Happy birthday, Adeline. Because it's giving you a sense of that lake just over time. Just kept going by that thing. Just running away from my house. Morning after morning. Doing some swimming. Praise the Lord, I have some beautiful scenes I got to run by. Just some beautiful nature. You get to hear the geese and the animals. It's pretty great. Swimming, biking, running. Layer after layer. That's that mental mindset. You just keep building it and building it and building it and building it. Layer on.
Graduation, Jack.
Back to Florida, 5 a.m. Riding the bike in Florida. I actually swam in that pool. That was a lot of laps. And now we're leading up to the first triathlon. So I did an Olympic distance triathlon in June. Finally outside, and right at the end of May to do some longer rides. My wife, when I was out running, she'd come on the long runs, ride the bike. And then at the end of this week, I'm going to do the Buffalo Triathlon. The water for that swim was 60 degrees, so that was a chilly swim. And really was a disastrous swim for me. I panicked on that swim, had to side stroke almost the whole time. It was only a mile.
Last day of school.
It was a disastrous swim. So after that triathlon, I started doing a lot of swimming in open water in a wetsuit to just overcome that anxiety you get from swimming in a wetsuit. Kind of compresses your chest.
Buffalo Triathlon.
There's me running the Buffalo Triathlon. And then that next week, did some more training, got ready to run overseas. So last little bit of training in the U.S. before we went on a trip. And I almost crashed on that video. I grabbed the front brake and just about flipped right over the handlebars. Last long ride before we headed overseas. So this is running in Georgia with the cows. Trying not to get run over by a bus. In Georgia, this is running in Slovenia through these beautiful gardens. Slovenia is kind of like being at Disney World. As you can see from this video, just beautiful. This is running in Marseille, France. I ran down to the water there, the Mediterranean. Ran around in the mountains the next day. Then we went on to Paris. So I'm running in Paris here. You'll see me in a second catch up to a group of guys working out in the park. I don't know if they appreciated it, but I ran with them for quite a while. So I enjoyed their squad.
Last day in Paris.
Last day there in Paris, running through some of the famous sites in Paris. It was pretty inspiring. And then back in Minnesota, back on Highway 3, swimming in open water. You'll see a lot of swimming in open water now after I got home because I knew I had to overcome that anxiety. There's me riding the bike, Highway 3. Biggest challenge with the bike on the highway is to watch out for traffic. Now here I'm in Colorado. Went to Colorado for a men's retreat. Friend Dan Sanchez took me up on the Devil's Backbone. There's my son Jonathan, my good friend Scott Fink. We hiked a mountain together. Dan and I ran again the next day in Colorado. There's Long's Peak. Running through another park in Colorado on my own that morning. There's Dan Sanchez running with me. Tweaked my hammy right after that video shot. Backed down off that for a little bit, but got right back to it.
First day of July.
First day of July. I'm inside because it's a stormy day. Running outside, that same lake. Swimming again. Seaweed's starting to grow. Every time you see me swimming in that water, I'm swimming like an hour and a half, about 2.5 to 3 miles. 2.25 lots of days. So running along. I love geese. Can you tell? I take a lot of videos of geese. Swimming again. That's our. Then I'm running here in my childhood hometown of Williams Bay, Wisconsin. That was pretty cool. It's kind of a deal for me. It's the first time I've been back there since I was 16 years old. I ran around that whole town. Back to some open water swimming. Running. Swimming. Running. swimming. It just goes every day, back and forth and back and forth, biking, fighting traffic, staying on the shoulder, swimming with some wind, running. Actually, it was really good. I swam with wind that day and a day on family vacation you'll see coming up, because the day of the Ironman, a lot of wind. A lot of wind.
4:30 a.m. Still working.
My wife came with me on those swimming days and would sit on shore and just kind of encourage me. It was kind of helpful to know when I was swimming that she was always there. So I'd blow up my inflatable deal so I didn't get run over by a boat, or you'll see later an airplane that almost hit me. It was taxiing out to take off, just about ran me over. And that was the swimming. A lot of days
94 miles on the bike. Happy family vacay.
Rode my bike to family vacation. Next day ran a half marathon on
Day 2.
family vacation. And then you'll see the water I swam in. I swam in those waves that day, 1.1 miles, which was really helpful on the day of the race that I'd done that. So a lot of days I'd bike for an hour and then swim for an hour and a half, or run for an hour and then swim for an hour and a half. That's why you see that compilation happening that way. Running and swimming. Same lake, trying to get that view. So this is the Buffalo. This is the half Ironman distance, and I lost a gear shift there, and I just about fell off my bike. It was exciting. I got stung by a bee during that long bike that day. Came in, that bee sting stayed with me for a while. Back to swimming. You'll see my support crew here pretty soon on the shore. But getting up early, I'd run when it was dark and then try to swim when the light came up, or ride my bike when it was dark. Swim when it was light. There's a 5-mile bike out.
2.5 hours.
Next day, 2.5 hours, and Nick joined us that day. My son Nick. Eventually, I got my son and both sons out there on the bike time. I thought it was impressive that guy caught a fish right on the shore.
Coming in from a 2.5 mile swim.
Right into a bike, right into a run. That sun comes up. There's my support crew swimming. Renee and my wife Sandy drinking their
At mile 75.
energy. You can see how the trucks come by you on your bike. You're like, just hang on.
On a 16-mile run.
There's the plane that almost got me. Running along.
For the morning.
A lot of early morning. Now I found that if I put on sunscreen, that would help ward off the microbes in the water that were biting me. A lot of times I came in and I'd have bites on my face and arms. So later you'll see me putting on sunscreen.
85 miles today, working hard.
85-mile bike, but you'll see me putting on that sunscreen.
20
Here's all the
miles.
kids, all of my guys. Cole and Nick out with me on the long run. There's doing some
Getting
sunscreen.
cooler, getting darker.
Switch to a sleeveless wetsuit.
Gotta keep doing it.
Camp Explosion with the BGU students. They're all asleep in their tents. I'm out for my run. Came back in before they got up. Some more open water. We're getting closer. Biking on Highway
4
3.
hours. Woo!
4-hour bike.
14 miles. Woo!
You can tell my kids are thrilled that they're out on that long run. Got to train them to do hard things.
Back inside.
Back inside because it's just too dark to keep riding my bike. I had kind of a close call with a guy pulling out of a parking lot, and I decided close enough to the race that I'm going to stay inside. This is me trying to figure out how to film myself with my iPhone while I'm swimming.
1 week. Saturday, quick workout. Sunday running. Drinking in the morning.
This is one of my last swims, getting close. The BGU students doing PX. Team Mania people, we'd have called that corporate.
Well, good morning.
And there it is, September 4th. I'm off to the race. Last swim in the pool. Last run. Heading to Madison. This is where I trained, all the states and countries I trained in. There's no sugar the days I did that. And then the total swimming, running, biking. Let's go race.
Pounding it in the water. Here we go time. looking good, bro. You earned it, bro.
This
You
guy
earned
back
it.
there said there's a marathon after this.
Oh, boy.
It could be a problem. Hey, thank you so much, all you who have donated and given money to BGU. We're gonna make the campus great. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for jumping in and making donations. The link will be active for the next week. You can still do it. Thanks so much, you guys.